Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today it's an interesting one because we are taking a look at AI agents, and specifically we are talking about integrating something known as DeepSeek's API with something known as browser use. So we'll take a look at all of these things, but first it's very important to understand why we are talking about AI agents. So if we take a look at a lot of reports, organizations are saying that 2025 will be the year of AI agents. So you can see here that companies are getting more serious about incorporating AI agents across various industries. And the same thing is also seen in the Google Trends platform. See, the keyword AI agents is gaining a lot of traction over time. Right now, it's reaching to the maximum interest of people. So that's why it's very important to understand about AI agents, which is a new thing that is going to come up in 2025. Now, the best use case of this is providing access of your browser to these agents to complete different tasks that you have for them. So that is what we will be seeing. Now let's go into what is DeepSeek and what is browser use. DeepSeek is an LLM provider and they have multiple models. Right now they came out with something known as DeepSeek version 3, which is performing really good in a lot of benchmarks, which I have also talked about in different videos of mine. So they have two things. Either you can use their web UI to chat just like we do on the UI of ChatGPT, or you can access their API key to integrate it in different frameworks or different apps that you might be creating. Right now, we'll take a look at how the platform of DeepSeek looks like. So once you log in into your DeepSeek platform, this is how it looks like. On the left side, you can see all the usage that you have. You can also go to the API section and create new API. This we will also be doing to get a new API key for our AI agent. Then to use this particular platform, there is a cost involved, obviously. So you have to buy and purchase some top-up credits to use these API keys. So you can either go with $2 or $5 just to test it out if this works for you. Now let's take a look at what is browser use. So this browser use is a platform which is backed by Y Combinator, and it's open source. And what this does is it's a framework where it has access to your browser and you can give it a particular task with certain parameters and it's able to execute it. So we will be using one of the forked version of this, which is browser use web UI. They have their own master repository, but it requires certain bit of coding. In this video, I wanted to keep it for people who don't know about coding as well. So we'll be using this forked version. It has a web UI, which we will be using. So to get started, you have to have one thing installed, which is Git, because we'll be cloning into this repository. Once you have Git installed, what we can do is, let's just open up our terminal. And once the terminal is here, we have to just copy this particular URL from here. And I have to write git clone and then just paste this URL. As soon as I enter it, you can see that it's cloning the repository for us. Now we have to go inside this particular repository. So to do that, I'll just write cd. So we'll just cd into this. Now once we are in this repository, we can just scroll down and start seeing some of the commands that we have to execute. Firstly, we have to install browser use. So let me just copy this particular command and I'll just paste it here, and you can see that all the requirements are now installed for browser use. We'll also install something known as Playwright. Let me just do that. So you can see that it has now been installed. In my system, it was previously installed, so it didn't show anything, but for you, it might take a minute or two to get everything up and running. So once that is done, we have to install all the requirements that are necessary for this repo to work. So I'll just copy this particular command and I'll paste it here. And you can just wait and you can see all the requirements are already installed in my system, but for you, it might take a minute or two to get everything installed. Once that is done, there are two things that you need to take care. Because it's a web UI, we also have this functionality where we can add our LLM base URL and even add our LLM API key in the web UI. But let's say if you want to hard code it into your environment, what we can do is let's just open up this in any of the code editor you like. Let me just open this up in VS Code And what I have to do is basically just rename this environment variable file just to .env, and as soon as you enter, you go into this, you can see it has section to write all of your API key. Because we are concerned with DeepSeek into this, we'll just take a look at DeepSeek endpoint here, which is already filled in for you. We just have to provide our API key here. Now to get the API key, we just have to go back to our DeepSeek platform, and let me just create a new API key. So I'll just give it a short name, browser use. And once this API is available, I'll just copy it and I'll come here and I'll paste it and I'll save it. Now once this everything is done, we can start the server for us. So let me just clear the terminal first. So to run the web UI, this is the command you have to use. I'll just copy this command and I'll do that. I'll just change it to Python 3. And as soon as I run, this is served on this particular URL. So once we have opened that URL which we were provided in the terminal, this is how the web UI looks like. So on the top we can say it says agent type. So you can either select ORG, which is basically original, or custom. The main difference is that in custom you can add your own custom prompts or system level prompts. Then we have max run steps, how many steps your AI agents can take at a maximum number. So I've set it at 100. You can keep it at default. You can click on use vision or not if you want to interpret some of the images later down the line. So you can tick mark that. Now, because we are concerned with DeepSeek, in the LLM provider, I have selected DeepSeek. Then I have selected or written the LLM model name as DeepSeek-chat. So there are two that are available, which is DeepSeek-chat or DeepSeek-coder. So you can try both of them out, whichever works the best for you. Right now we'll keep it at DeepSeek-chat. Then you can also change the temperature of the LLM. Now you already know that we have set the variables already in the environment, but just for people who don't want to set it up, they can also write this particular LLM base URL here and then enter their API key that we have got from our DeepSeek platform. Now coming back to this, we also have browser settings. So you can either click use own browser or even pin up a headless browser, right? You can set the window width or window height, and you can also save the recording path. Now what does this mean? Every time you run this agent, it will capture the whole steps that it is taking in the browser and record it as a video, so for your references. So it will be available in this directory. You can change this path to whatever you like. Now let's scroll down. Now we can see that it says what are the tasks and if we want to provide any additional info. Let's say the first task is by default, go to google.com and type OpenAI, then click search and give the first URL. So there are multi-stages steps that are involved. Let's see how it works. So I'll just quickly say, so we'll wait. A browser has been opened. Now the agent is doing everything on its own. It's identifying the different sections in the web UI and it's writing on its own. So it has made the Google search of OpenAI and it is now seeing the first URL that we have asked it to give us. So now it has closed the browser because the steps are complete, and it has come out with the final result saying that the first URL from the search result for OpenAI is this. How cool is that? So basically you can give it any task. It will open up a new browser window and then starts working on it. For example, let's give it something else. Let's say, what is the stock price of Apple? Let's say we want to get to know this. I'll just click on run agent. So I've not told it to do a Google search or do all of these things. It will try to find it on its own. So it opens up the google.com. Then it tries to identify the search box. And then it will make a query. So you can see that all of this is happening on autopilot. So this is really interesting. So this is how you can basically use browser use with DeepSeek model and API. Because it's very cheap and the outcome is also very good, I would highly encourage everyone to try this out, because this is showing a glimpse of how AI agents will be navigating browser UIs and all of exciting things that will be happening in 2025. That's it for this video. See you in the next one.